like this.
Welcome back to the Ed Show. I'm Cenk Uygur of the Young Turks, in for Ed Schultz. A lot of us have the sense that our politicians are bought and sold by the lobbyists. Now there's some numbers to back that up about the most recent Congress. According to a Washington Post analysis of the numbers provided by the nonpartisan groups Center for Responsive Politics and the Soundline Foundation, 35 members of the drafting committee handling the financial reform bill took $440,000 in donations in the 3 weeks that they were putting together that bill. And you'll never guess which industry gave them all that money. Yes, shocking, but it was the financial industry. Oh, I didn't see that coming. Then lawmakers wrote an incredibly soft financial reform bill that left most of the major problems completely unaddressed. Weird how that works, huh? And then when the Senate was considering a $30 billion bill to help smaller community banks, what's weird is that there was another payday. $469,000 rained in this time. Again, in a wild coincidence, it was the financial industry who poured in the money in the 3 days surrounding that vote. The reality is the system is deeply and institutionally corrupt. It's designed for payoffs on every bill. The problem isn't individual politicians, though they don't really help much. The problem is the system itself. Our representatives don't represent us. They represent the people who pay them, the lobbyists. Joining me now to talk more about this is David Sirota, a radio show host, nationally syndicated columnist, and author of The Uprising, which sounds pretty good to me now. David, is our system broken?
It's absolutely broken, and it goes to the very question that you've raised, which is who do these politicians work for, and really who's paying for them to go to work. And now they get paid a taxpayer's salary, but their re-election is oftentimes based on how much money they can raise. And the vast majority of the money that they raise comes from extremely wealthy people, from lobbyists, from special interests with issues before Congress. So we have a system of legalized bribery in this country, and it gets what it pays for, and what is being paid for are votes on major issues that affect these special interests.
You know, in that Washington Post story, Harry Reid was asked, and he said, oh, no, the money didn't affect me at all. And then what's weird is that when they asked every single politician, they all said, no, the money never, ever affects me. Again, I'm going to go back to this theme of the media. Is part of the problem the media, are they too credulous? They go, oh, well, Harry Reid said it doesn't affect him, so I guess that must be the case.
Well, look, politicians are going to say that the money doesn't affect them because, well, what else would they say? They'd say, well, yeah, my vote was bought. They can't admit that truth, but it's a truth that we all know. Now the question is, what is going to be done about it, right? That's the question that is rarely ever asked by the media. If politicians continue to deny that money has a corrosive effect, has an influential effect on their votes, and the media continues to accept that, and oftentimes write out of their stories the influence of money, right? At least the Washington Post piece was a story about money. Typically, you see pieces in the New York Times, the Washington Post, the Wall Street Journal that simply don't even mention money as an influencing factor in a vote. So the question really is not who's buying what, because we know almost every vote is being bought. It's what can actually be done about this. And nobody in Washington wants that question asked.
Yeah, not mentioning the money is goofy. I mean, it's not one of the factors. It's at least 90% of the factor when these bills are. I mean, when's the last time they went and did a speech on the Senate or the floor of the House, and another senator or congressman went, oh, yeah, wow, that's a really good idea. I'm going to change my vote. No, their votes are already decided based on the money. So, David, let's go to the heart of it. How do we fix it? What's the magic bullet to make it so that it's not based on the money, but actually in our democracy is based on our votes?
The magic bullet is what Arizona and Maine have done, and other municipalities, which is public financing of elections, where taxpayers start saying, all right, listen, we are going to get the government that we pay for. We are going to basically fund our elections. We are not going to allow private special interests to fund our elections. We're not going to allow private special interests to fund our politicians. That if politicians qualify for the ballot, they are entitled to a certain amount of public financing. That's we, the taxpayers, being willing to invest in our own political system. Until we're willing to do that, we are going to get the best system that private special interests have paid for.
Yeah, if we pay them, they work for us. If the lobbyists pay for them, they work for the lobbyists. It's that simple. All right, David, great conversation. Appreciate it. All right. Now,
Thanks.
yeah, thank you, man. Now let's get some rapid fire response from our panel on these other stories.